As a parent myself, I've often wondered if I'm doing enough to set my kids up for financial success, and I bet many of you have too. You might be worried you're starting too late, or maybe you're thinking, do I need to be a financial guru to teach my kids about money? Well, I've got good news for you. In this video, I'm going to share with you what I've learned about the perfect age to start money lessons, how to explain tricky topics like investing in kid-friendly terms, if you will, and the common pitfalls we need to avoid being those mini money mentors. Hello, my friends. My name is Kamil Banc for Mini Money Mentors, my newsletter that helps millennial parents and all kinds of parents to teach their kids financial literacy. If you like this type of stuff, please subscribe here or sign up there. But back to the video, because by the end of this video here, you'll have a clear blueprint for raising financially savvy children. So actually don't need anything other than that. No matter your own financial background also. So stick around because your journey to raising financially smart kids starts right now. And let me tell you, I was surprised when I learned that financial education can start as early as 3 or 4. My boy, Conrad, his age is 3, right? He's 3 years old. My daughter, her name is Kinga, is 5. The key here, however, is tailoring the lessons to your child's age and understanding. For the little ones, I found that using a clear piggy bank makes saving visual and exciting. You can also do things like playing store at home, or just pretend money, right? And it is a fun way to introduce the concept of exchanging money for goods. And don't underestimate the power of simple counting games with coins either. There are some great board games that help you do that as well. Monopoly might be a little bit too tough, but there are some games that really teach you how to count coins. Well, one of my favorite games is poker, but I guess that's a little too early for a lot of them. Even though I do have to say, I'll probably make a video about poker and its impact on my financial literacy that I never have gotten formally anywhere else. But hey, let's continue. As we get older, as our kids get older, that is, let's say elementary school age, that's when you can start an allowance system to teach budgeting. One method I love is the 3-jar system. 1 jar for spend, another one for save, and another one for give. It's a simple way to introduce financial planning, and letting them make small purchases really helps them understand the value of money. For the tweens and teens among your children here, it's time to level up, all right? I would introduce something like the concept of compound interest, for example, using their own savings account at that time. Or get them involved in family budget decisions as well. I even take my kids comparison shopping during our grocery trips sometimes. Even though they're a little smaller than that, I think they can already handle that part. It's more fun when you go and do more complex purchases. Like your teens and tweens, you could take them to a car dealer and explain the differences in different cars instead of just groceries. But let me share a real life example on how this can work. In my family, we implemented the 3-jar system when my oldest daughter, who's 5 right now, really wanted to get into this. And she actually had a goal that she wanted to save towards. So first, we set up 3. We actually didn't use jars. We used envelopes. And one of the envelopes, like I said spend. The other one is save. And the other one is give. We explained that the $10 weekly allowance would be divided among the jars. And after a little bit of deliberation, we decided on a 60, 30, 10 split. That means $6 for spend, $3 for save, and $1 for give. Now the spend jar was for small treats or toys. The save jar was for bigger goals, like that $60 art set, for example, or I think she wanted some shoes, some pink sparkly shoes off of Amazon. And then the give envelope is for charity. What does that mean? We have a little charity here right in our backyard, which is basically a animal shelter, and we like to go there sometimes. It's actually not a shelter, it's a sanctuary. Okay, and they do need donations, so we're very familiar with them. And it's just fun to see for the kids that if they give the money to a good cause, that it can do some good. Now, every few months, we will choose whether or not to go there or maybe to a turtle sanctuary or something like that, and they can make the decision where to donate it. It was really amazing to see how this system taught budgeting, delayed gratification, and the importance of giving back. Now, the visual aspect of seeing the money grow, or shrink for that matter, in each envelope really made the concepts tangible. Because we didn't use jars, as I mentioned initially. I think jars overall probably do work really well. But what I had my daughter do is I would have her put money into the envelope and then strike through the number and calculate the new total that's in the envelope. Or whenever she needs to take something out, I would do the same and just deduct the amount from the total. And that way she would also have to write down how much did I gain, how much did I lose. Now I know that some of you might be thinking, but Kamil, I'm not great with money myself. How can I teach my kids? Well, let me tell you, you don't need to be a financial expert. You just need to be willing to learn as well, okay? And it's really not that complicated. In fact, I found that learning alongside my kids has been an incredible journey and actually has brought us closer together. It gave us something interesting to work on together. In our house, we started a family book club, for example, reading kid-friendly financial books together, and things like that. Sometimes a little bit of news as well. I try to translate them into kid-friendly terms. And we then discuss the topic or chapter each week over dinner or sharing our thoughts and questions. At that age, my kids mostly just have questions, which is fine. And we also have what we call the Money Mondays. That is a weekly family meeting to discuss finances. Sometimes we originally started it on Saturdays when I was reviewing the envelopes and particularly a goal that my daughter had. But then we ended up doing it on Mondays. It just works better with our week. But whatever day it is for you, try to set a certain time in the week to really review your family budget, talk about financial news in kid-friendly terms, that is, and also share your financial goals and progress. One side note here is, don't feel bad about sometimes talking about your mistakes, all right? This is perfectly fine, and mistakes are what teaches us the best. So whenever you had a financial failure, maybe from your childhood or recently, talk to your kid about it and tell them why it happened and how to prevent it in the future. I'll never forget when we were buying a new family car. We involved the kids in the whole process as much as they could, right? Researching models online, comparing prices and features, discussing loans and interest rates. In the end, it was a cash purchase for a used car, but hey, you get the point. The exercise is there. It was definitely a real world lesson in a big purchase, and that gave the kids also some sort of pride and ownership in the decision. And here's something important. I'm not afraid to share my financial mistakes, as I just mentioned before, okay? I want to emphasize that point again. When I make an impulse purchase I later regret, I discuss it openly with them. I explain what I learned and how I make a better decision, or how I'll aim to make a better decision next time. Who knows if it's actually going to happen, but we can only hope for the best. It shows them that financial learning is a lifelong journey, okay? And that's a very important lesson. Now let's talk about one of the trickiest parts of financial education, and that is explaining investing to kids. I know it can seem daunting and many of us don't know about it ourselves, but again, if you teach it, you get to learn it twice. But I found some ways to make it both fun and understandable. One approach that worked well for us was using a lemonade stand analogy. We helped set up a real lemonade stand and explained that just like they needed money to buy lemons, sugar, and cups, companies needed to grow their business as well. People who provide that money are called investors. We all created a pretend investment portfolio with $1,000 of play money, and the kids choose companies they knew, the popular entertainment, sportswear, or tech companies, or maybe you just turn their favorite characters into a fictional company if you have to. And anything that they're always talking about it. Okay, my son is crazy about Spider-Man, for example, so it had to be Spider-Man Inc. And then we have to think of what services does it provide and all that. Just have fun with it. Okay, there are no rules in terms of the complexity. It's just about teaching the principles. And then we try to imagine as time goes by how the companies perform. I go through certain type of events in the company. That's great to use generative AI for that as well, because it can help you to come up with scenarios that either push the stock price up or down, and then you can make notes and then just go through, let's say, a fictional year of stock performance, and then in the end, there's going to be a winner. It's not about who wins; it's about the process of understanding investing in that broader sense. Now, I know this might sound a little bit complicated, and I think I'll go into more detail in a separate video on how to set it up, but it's actually really, really easy. Now, to demonstrate compound interest, we use a simple visual aid. We start with a jar of, let's say, 100 marbles or 10, representing a certain amount of money, and each day or week we add 10% more marbles. Okay, so if we have 100, we add 10 more. The next day we add 11 more, and so on and so on. You get the idea. The kids are always amazed at how quickly the jars fill up towards the end. In the beginning, it's kind of like gradual, and then exponential. It's a very powerful way to show them the magic of compound interest. Now, before we wrap up, I want to address some common mistakes I've seen. And let's be honest, made myself. When it comes to teaching kids about money, the two big things are avoiding money conversations altogether and not leading by example. I'll admit, there was a time when we rarely discussed money matters with our kids, or even in the household with my wife, so that the kids could observe it. We'd argue about finances behind closed doors and never involve the kids in financial decisions. Granted, my kids are still young, but I think it's at that age, it's more important to just build a healthy relationship with money and seeing it as a tool and not some mysterious thing that you put on a pedestal. As a result, they were picking up misconceptions about money from their, from the media or from other people. And that's just something I want to have a little bit more direct impact on. The turning point for us came when one of our kids asked for an expensive toy, claiming that everybody has it in her preschool. And that's when I realized we need to change our approach. We started having regular family meetings, as I mentioned before, about money, discussing our family's financial goals, basic budgeting concepts, and all the things that we mentioned in the video. We started using a budgeting app. Actually, I started with a Notion planner, a Notion template on my computer. And we even involved them in the grocery shopping. In fact, that was actually one of the first things, because it's just fun to have them on the cart with you and talk about the things that you see in the aisle. So they can easily compare prices and make budget-conscious decisions, if you will, even if they're fictitious at that point. When we're saving for a family vacation, we openly discuss our saving strategies. When I received a raise at work, for example, I explained how I plan to allocate the extra money. And when we had to make a major home repair, we discussed how our emergency fund helped. The result, our kids have gained a little bit more realistic understanding of money. They've become more appreciative of what they have and more thoughtful about their requests. And you know what? Our family overall, our financial health has improved as well, and everybody's kind of working together towards a common goal, even if our kids are still very young, and I know that. So this is pretty much it for this video. My guide to you to raising money smart kids. Remember, it's never too early to start teaching financial literacy, as long as you adapt the teachings to your child's age and understanding. You don't need to be a financial expert. Learning alongside your kids is powerful. And complex topics like investing, can be made simple through storytelling and hands-on activities as discussed. And always lead by example and have an open money conversation. Teaching your kids about money is one of the most valuable gifts you can give them. It's not about having all the answers, but about fostering curiosity, responsibility, and smart habits that will serve them well into adulthood. I encourage you to start your family's financial literacy journey today. Pick one idea from this video and try it out this week. Let us know in the comments how it's going, whether it's setting up those saving jars or having your first family money talk. Every step counts. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more parenting money tips. And like I mentioned before, if you want to get this type of stuff right into your email inbox, feel free to subscribe at minimoneymentors.com. Okay? Together, we can raise a generation of financially savvy kids. With that being said, thanks for watching, and here's to your family's financial success. Kamil Banc signing off.